Hello everyone, today I'm gonna put DCC and sound in my SD35. Now 6013, that is my highest viewed video. And I rescued this little guy, I rescued it from the junk pile. It was a mess when I got it. You can watch the video, I'm gonna put it in the description below. So first of all, I'm going to tell you about what kind of decoders I used. So I ordered these decoders from Excel Systems. You can see the address there. So they come with the instructions. And I ordered 3 at a time. Let's just take a peek at these instructions here. So this is what I do. So I bought 2 of the sound decoders. And the sound decoders, they cost $49 each. And since I was buying the decoders anyhow, here's the install in a GP38. I'm going to install it in the SD35, which is a little bit different, but I have a feeling it's going to work just fine. So I ordered 2 of the sound decoders and I pay for the shipping, and then I order an extra no sound decoder. The price of the no sound decoder is $13. So since I'm already paying for the shipping, I just include an extra $13 and I get this. So there's my 3 decoders. They come in a box like that, but that works just fine for me. So it puts a little bit of cardboard over here to protect it, which that works for me. As long as the decoder is good inside, I'm happy. Careful with your X-Actonize, you don't want to cut yourself, especially on camera in front of everybody. That wouldn't look too cool. So it's already got a little bit of protective tape. There's the 2 contacts for your motor and your microphone and all the chips necessary. So I'm going to remove the shell on this little guy. That video, by the way, that I did on this is up to 19,000 views. So it's my most viewed video to date. So in theory, all I would have to do is switch out the circuit board and I'd be ready to go. So when I got this, it was not running. But I had to do quite a bit of work to it. I had to get a new motor for it, and I had to do quite a bit of cleaning. As these drop out, I want to maintain the order that they were in. For sure, for sure. Although you can't really put them upside down. You can't really invert them. They will they have only one way that they can go. But I still like to keep the order nevertheless. And then I can just spread this out. Gonna remove the light shield. The Atlas locomotives, the SD50 and SD60, I don't really like them too much, but I find most of them are really good. So it's held together by the engine cradle here. So I just press these out and the frame will spread apart. Just like so. And then I've got my circuit board and I can put in the new circuit board. Now when I'm running DC, it doesn't really make a lot of difference if this pin touches the frame, but I think for the DCC engine, I better put some kept on tape right here. That's going to save me from some trouble. down the line. That's cheap insurance, only takes a second now. Now, as I line up my circuit board, I want to make sure that my two tabs for the motor line up perfectly. So far so good, actually. That looks awesome. And I can just press that in. And what I'm doing, I'm checking if I have interference with the frame, which I do a little bit here. That's okay if the contact strip falls out, because I am going to have to mill this just a little bit. Just a little bit to give me the clearance for the wiring. Now, I was mentally prepared for this, so it won't be too much of a problem. I just have to mill this area here. I'm going to mark it down. So it's going to be just a small area, which is nowhere near anything major. So what I do, so I took the time to wash everything. What I do is I will do all the heavy lifting with the grinder, and then I'll come in with the Dremel and do the little finishing work here on the sides, like that. Now I can start putting everything back together. The initial cradle, that's still simple enough, but it has to be in its place. Otherwise the flywheel might hit the side of the frame, and it's going to produce extra noise. So I'm just turning it to make sure everything's lined up properly. For the drive shaft and the worm gear, it's the same thing. Just making 100% sure it's at the right place. Right place, right time. And then the same from the front one. You can turn the flywheel a little bit, that helps you line it up. And then you turn it to make sure everything's good. Then I can bring in the circuit board. So that should fit right now. Should fit right. Should fit right in now. Yeah, that looks good. Now these two little wires, they clear the frame. I have plenty of room for my speakers. Then don't forget about these two little insulators. If they're not there, it would be bad. You can create a short circuit. Did you see that flying off? In scale, you're always dealing with small parts, so that's gonna help you get more patient. And then I'll put the second half of the frame. And I'm just guiding it into place very lightly. That should fit right in theory. Here we go. Everything's looking good. I'm gonna put in my two contact strips. I just clean them like that with my fingers. So put in the two contact strips and the fuel tank. The fuel tank holds them in place. So I'll put the fuel tank before I put in my trucks. That way I don't have to go chasing down the this longer part here goes towards the back. And then the 2 screws, but I'm not tightening them, I'm just letting them be in there but loose. I'm just gonna start them. And then these nuts. So I just start them so that gives me room to put in my trucks. They actually only go one way. And then once I'm satisfied with that, I'll tighten it. That feels good. This one seems to be a little tight. I'll just spread it out. Just enough to get in there. I never force it. I always take my time, make sure everything's lined up properly. That's where you get into excessive noise. Also, this is the time to check your contact strips to be sure everything's connected together. So that's good, and that's good. Oh, I forgot to put these in. This one's not gonna go, so I have to take everything apart again. It did not take very long to do that. I don't mind making mistakes on camera like that. Shows you that I'm human. So put up the light shield. I have to line up my contact strip here. Very important. If it's not right, you'll know it. And then I've got to go try it on the track just to make sure everything's working. This little circuit board there, I don't throw them out. I keep them. I have a drawer now for circuit boards. Awesome, so let's go on the track. So it was very easy to program. So if you hit F8 3 times, it shuts down the engine. And to restart the engine, just hit any key. Everything works very well. And then reverse. So let's go put the shell back on. So all these SD35s were ex-Pennsylvania units. spread it out just a tiny little bit. It really wants to go in there, it just doesn't know it yet. So yeah, naturally I take my time when I do this because of the price of these models and how nice they are. It's really worth taking your time. Perfect. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.